My lips are on fire. So I'm not even remembering what the question was. Oh, my earrings.
Hey everyone, what's going on? From Douglas for Dauphin, I'm Brittney Douglas, and you're watching Kinda Hot Ones, the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And today, we're joined by Justin Douglas. He's the founding pastor at the Belong Collective, an inclusive church in Harrisburg. He's also a CrossFit coach, and he's even written a book. He's currently running for Dauphin County Commissioner in Pennsylvania. Justin, welcome to the show. How are you feeling?
We'll see in about a few minutes. I don't eat a whole lot of hot food. This should be interesting.
Confession. This was my idea, and I don't know what I got myself into because the salsa at Mexican restaurants are usually too spicy. All right, are you ready to get started?
Sure.
All right, we have Melinda's black truffle sauce. Let's dive in. Should we cheers?
All right, we cheers.
We got some veggie nuggets for you today. How you like them?
Good. Should I eat the whole thing?
It's up to you. It's not too bad.
Oh, mine is.
Just, dipping your toe in.
Is it hot for you though?
No, I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. So I know at the end of the year you like to rate albums.
Oh yeah.
And amongst your diverse top 10 artists over the last few years have included artists such as S. Carey, Knocked Loose, Tyler the Creator, Denzel Curry, Julian Baker, and even J. Cole. How have artists like these influenced you both creatively and personally?
That's a good question. I love music. Music speaks to me. Music is like my first love. I remember growing up with learning to play guitar and listening to, at that point, a lot of grunge era music. I think when you think about artists like, J. Cole and a lot of hip hop being able to talk about complex issues, in a quick little rhyme. I think of Jay-Z's second verse of 99 Problems being really a lesson to, I would say, young black youth on like what it's like to get pulled over and what it's like to be racially profiled. You can pack a lot into a rap song and it can still be very like artistic. And then like I think of like metal, which was my like second love in the sense of like music. Like when I was in college, I really got into hardcore and metal, and Knocked Loose falls into that category, some others. Then, I've really come to find a lot of enjoyment in more like chill stuff, like when Bon Iver came out a long time ago. When that album, the self-titled album came out, that really connected with me. And I like Phoebe Bridgers and Julian Baker for the same reasons, but I like that they're kind of doing things their own way. I like people who are unique and doing things their own way. Denzel Curry is a great example. Denzel Curry isn't, I don't think, super popular in the hip hop, or, he's starting to get there, but he just kind of does it his own way. He like covered Rage Against the Machine. It's like, who covers Rage Against the Machine as a hip hop artist?
So if you had to pick one like all-time musical influence.
It's really hard, but I think I would go back to my roots and say Nirvana and Kurt Cobain. I learned how to play every Nirvana song on guitar. Yeah, it just connected with me. So I'll never kind of forget that.
All right. Well, this next one, we're still kind of dipping our toes in here. This is Crystal. It's a Louisiana-based hot sauce. Shouldn't be too bad.
All righty. Okay, here we go.
Let's dive in. Oh, I took a big bite. I mean, you feel it, but it's doable, right?
Sure. I'm going to try to eat the whole wing.
So when Trevor Noah was on the show, Sean asked him, in reference to him taking over The Daily Show, did Jon Stewart give you any advice on how to avoid becoming that old, angry, screaming man at the clouds? And Trevor shared how Jon said it would be inevitable.
So enjoy it while it lasts.
And not let anger be the overriding emotion. As one who dives in to politics and advocating for minorities, how do you not let anger be your overriding emotion?
That's a good question. And just to be clear, I haven't seen or heard any of these questions. I would say first that it's really hard to always get that right. There's a lot in the world to be angry about. There's a lot of injustice, especially in areas of religion, where I think God is co-opted in a way to support oppression. I get very angry as someone who's a pastor and someone who has degrees in theology. I struggle with seeing people who advocate for things and are saying what they're advocating for is Christian, but is just really far from the Jesus way. My gut reaction is angry. My gut, but then I have to take some time to be like, okay, well, how informed is this person? Has this person been inspired toward a different direction, or have they just been in a silo to only see the world the same way? And, empathy can then begin to surface. And I think when we come to politics, much of it's the same. Initially, a lot of times I am angry. And I think as I talk to other people, there's an understanding that anger exists, but what we do with that matters. Are we advocating for change? How are we advocating for change? We're not going to solve problems when we're, pardon the pun, but burning hot.
All right, Justin, you ready for this third wing?
Yeah.
All right, this is by Sauce Babe, and it's Hotter Habanero. Let's dive in. This one's definitely a little bit spicier. It's like filling up my mouth. You committed. You said you're going to eat them all.
I don't know if I'm going to eat the whole thing of each of them. I'm going to eat them all as long as I can.
We have a segment on our show called Explain That Gram, where we take a deep dive into our guest's Instagram for interesting pictures that need more context. Take a look at this picture. This is a picture from February 2022 of you after competing in an online CrossFit competition called the Open, while also having COVID-19. As an avid CrossFitter and coach, what is it about the sport of CrossFit that keeps you coming back for more?
I love that CrossFit's always different. If you don't know, the phrase for CrossFit is constantly varied fitness, so it's constantly something different. That photo's funny. I got COVID at the very beginning, literally the first day of the Open in 2022. And I didn't have to do it. I could have skipped it, but I chose to do it. It was pretty challenging. As you look at that afterwards, it's kind of funny. But I love CrossFit just because I love it. You might only have 10 minutes and you can still get a really challenging workout in. You might have, a long workout that you want to do or take a class, and it's brought a lot of joy into my life around fitness and even around coaching and seeing other people grow in their health and fitness.
All right, this next photo. What is happening here?
Okay.
Why are you on a camel?
Yeah.
And why was I not invited?
This is in Israel and Palestine. I'm not exactly sure if we're in Palestine here or in Israel. I forget exactly where this was. I would have to go back and remember. But there's a lot of tourist spots while we're there. And you can kind of haggle with different vendors. And this person had a camel for camel rides. Like you could take a camel ride, but we didn't have time to ride the camel. And I just said, what would it take for me to get on your camel and just take a picture?
Oh, so you didn't even go for a ride?
No, did not go for a ride. And it was super sketchy. As someone who's been on horses before, it's significantly higher. But yeah, so I was like, how much would it take for me to get on the camel? And he gave me a price and I was like, I'm good. And then gave me a different price, and then we haggled or whatever.
Always haggling.
I'm always getting a deal. And I had to get on the camel for the gram. And
so was this trip for pleasure or business?
It was an exposure trip to just kind of get exposed to the Israel-Palestinian reality and to visit some refugee camps in Palestine, to visit a lot of the challenging areas there, to meet with representatives on both sides of the conflict.
All right, I got one more for you.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
This is a photo from 2017, and it appears you're in a jail cell.
Okay, I'm going to try my best to get the details right. But we were driving to Vidor, Texas. We drove a truck full of supplies for the hurricane. On the way back, we stopped, I want to say it's Birmingham, Alabama. And I believe this is the jail cell that Martin Luther King Jr. was in. These are the actual doors that were put into a museum. Martin Luther King Jr. is a hero of mine as a pastor, as a leader. He should be everyone's hero in that regard.
So what is it about King's legacy that really inspires you?
There's so many things, and I guess what I would say is I think it's really important that people understand who King is. King was way more radical than most 21st century Americans understand him as. I love that he stuck to his principles even when it wasn't popular with his tribe. He was adamantly against the Vietnam War when it was not a popular position. He was really about economic justice. One of my favorite stories is where, his house gets bombed with his wife and kids there, and people come and are ready to pretty much charge into the streets and start a riot and in his name and in the defense of his family, and he disarms them and sends them home. I mean, he took the words of Jesus very literally when it came to peace, and I really appreciate that. In a world where we don't have many principled leaders, to look back and see, his legacy in the midst of deep divisions, it can teach us a lot about where we are in this moment in history right now as a country. But yeah, I've just always appreciated his leadership.
All right, well, that's it for our deep dive into your Instagram. Let's get on to this fourth wing. This sauce is a junkanoo pepper.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
It is a Jamaican hot sauce.
Oh, jeez. That means it's definitely going to be real.
Yeah. I'm not getting it. Are you getting it? Oh God, is it one of those ones that's gonna hit?
It's gonna hit in a second. I'm not saying I'm not getting it because I'm sure it's coming. I'm gonna eat the whole thing and we'll see what happens. Starting to come now. Starting to hit now.
Yeah. So Justin, with a diverse background in roles as not only a pastor and a coach, an author, and even an Uber driver, what innovation and rethinking will you bring to the role of commissioner if elected in November?
A lot of times we think of innovation as like using state-of-the-art technology, but I think innovation can just be looking at a problem in a different way. There's a lot of value in the fact that a lot of our leaders countywide are very established leaders, but sometimes that can be challenging to bring a new perspective to the table as you're handling problems you've handled before. So I think by default, I'll be innovative because I won't be bringing a predetermined lens to the problems or a predetermined way of approaching different challenges. I do think there's, when we talk about our prison, for example, there's, the Scandinavian model, which has been adopted by many American prisons, and including some in Pennsylvania, that, we have the opportunity to consider how a restorative justice model would look in our county. Things like case managers eating meals with inmates, the reality that could build bridges of understanding and bridges of treating someone like a human being. Our prison system as a country in general does not do well at seeing the individual who's incarcerated as valuable, worthy, worth investing in. But if we want safer communities, that's a great place to start, especially if we have a recidivism rate where people coming out are doing crime again in our own community. Certainly things like mental health care, I think of, what if every high school student in Dauphin County, and certainly this wouldn't just be under the county commissioner's purview, it would require school boards and others to get on board, but what if we collaborated as leaders across the county and did something like every single high school student in their freshman year is going to have one semester of therapy, and we invested in enough school therapists to have that? Like, what could that transform 4, 5, 6, 10 years down the road for our community? We need access to mental health to expand, but we also need to think of innovative ways to make that, simple to get. Like, if you're a parent and you're trying to get your child mental health care services, you will be on a merry-go-round. Like, if you haven't had that challenge yet, it is very challenging.
There's like year-long waiting lists.
Yes, there are people on waiting lists, and their kids are in crisis, or their kids aren't in crisis, but they know that if the need goes unmet, that they will be in crisis. And so we got to do better at those things. Some of that's innovation, some of that's just simply doing work. When it comes to community, I think it's important to listen well. I've lived in so many different contexts. I was born in Palm Springs, California. That's its own thing. Lived there till I was 8.
Yep.
Grew up in rural Indiana. Lived there till I was 18. Moved to a college town in Virginia, but still kind of rural Virginia. Then moved to Northern Virginia after college, which is very affluent. And then I lived in Boston, in Dorchester. At the time I was there, 97% African American or Dominican American community. I was very much a minority in that community. Then I lived in Wisconsin, very rural Wisconsin. And now we've lived in Pennsylvania coming up on 8 years. We've lived in Hummelstown and we've lived in Conewago Township, which are two different ends of the spectrum within Dauphin County as well. I say that to say, one of the things I bring is, I think, an understanding of people from all different ends of the spectrum and all different types of communities. So, yeah. I think I can bring that, and I think that could be innovative. And I see that you're shaking up that last one.
Do
That
you
last
know-
one wasn't terrible, but it
No.
definitely got, yeah.
Maybe I didn't put enough on it. All right, you might be wondering why I'm shaking up this bottle.
Okay, the last
You
dab.
don't have to, but
Are you going to do it? You're
it's
gonna do it?
tradition around here.
How much should I put on
Just
here?
a dab. You don't need a lot.
Should I only do a dab? Because I feel like...
Yeah, I do have
Oh,
to give a
jeez.
shout out to this sauce. Our friend Allie Wirt and Steve actually had this sauce just, casually in their kitchen. This is zombie apocalypse sauce.
I have to finish, though, because I got this far.
All right, one last cheers.
All right.
All right, here we go. Yeah.
Oh, that's 0 to open the nostrils.
Yep.
Yep.
It's like opening my ears. I don't know if that's weird, but...
Whoa.
All right, Justin, we're coming down to our last question on the show. And, it might be our most important question we've asked so
Oh,
far.
goodness. I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
ready for it.
What's up with those earrings?
What's up with my earrings?
What's up with your earrings? Everybody wants to know.
Everybody wants to know what's up with my earrings.
Yep.
That is something I get asked a lot, and that's
Yeah.
hilarious. They're called gauges, or I don't know.
Hold
My
on to
lips
your-
are on fire.
Are they? You can't lick them.
I don't think I did, but I think some of the sauce got on my lips, and they are hot right now. Okay, so, oh man, yeah. So I'm not even remembering what the question was. Oh, my earrings. Yeah. So when I was in bands playing like hardcore music, like tattoos and gauges were kind of a thing, and got into that.
That question was just for fun. To
Okay.
finish off, I figured we might not be able to get a super deep question in on that last one.
Okay.
But you got through all those wings. We
did.
made it.
I did.
And as Paul Rudd said, look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it. Should we cheers? Should we cheers with a glass of
You
water? We
wanna
did
cheers?
it.
Oh,
Are you
water.
gonna do milk? You can do milk if you
All
want.
right, cheers. We
Cheers.
made it.
We made it. We got through it. I thought it was gonna be way worse.
All right,
No.
Justin, look at you. 5
at
hot
me.
wings up and 5
Yep.
hot wings down. Now is your chance.
Oh, what am I doing? Oh, my chance. Okay, go ahead.
It's your chance to give a shout out. Let us know
Oh.
what you're doing. You can use this camera, but let the people know what's
Any
going
of the
on in your
cameras.
life.
What's going on in my life is I'm running for this thing called Dauphin County Commissioner. Small detail. And if you want to support me, you can support me by, first of all, if you're in Dauphin County, you can vote for me. I would love to have your vote. You can put my yard sign in your yard. You can tell your friends. Reach out to me, let me know, and we will get you any literature to hand out to your friends, all that kind of stuff. Would love to have you show up at one of my meet and greet events. For those of you who aren't in Dauphin County but still want to support me, there's a ton of ways you can support. If you're close by, like say you're in a neighboring county, you can help volunteer. But one of the things that would be incredibly helpful is if you can give to the campaign. One of the things we're learning is that running a campaign costs money. We are a grassroots campaign powered by volunteers. There's no frills. Your donation of any amount, every single dollar matters, would go a long way. You can go to douglasfordolphin.com. You can go to my Instagram page, Douglas for Dolphin. I would love your support.
We'll be sure to put those links and everything
In the
description below.
Sure, yes, we will. Links in the description.
All
per
right,
usual.
Justin, we made it.
All right.
Good job.
Thanks, Ben.